Zen. Yeah. Of course, when we see this Zen, we immediately tend to think this is a monastic piece. But technically, this is actually not monastic. In fact, technically, most Tibetan monastics rarely wear the three pieces called the Chogu Namsum. The Chogu Namsum, which, for example, in descriptions of Buddha Shakyamuni, in sadhanas, it will say that Buddha Shakyamuni is depicted wearing the Chogu Namsum, which is translated into English as the three Dharma robes. Yeah, three Dharma robes. What are actually the three Dharma robes? The three Dharma robes, they are, the first one is called the Namjar. Namjar is a variously like 25 to maybe 32 to some even say 108 pieces sewn together to make a patch yellow and various related colors like mustard, yellow, bright yellow, golden yellow. Yeah, that piece is called a namjar. A namjar is only worn on very special occasions. Often, in fact, only the head monk or nun in an assembly may be the only one wearing the namjar, even though technically the namjar is part of the three robes of a fully ordained monastic. Novices don't have all three robes because novices don't own a namjar. Yeah, so a namjar only comes with full ordination. As a side note, a footnote, because the Tibetan tradition don't exactly right now have the fully ordained nuns. So nuns, generally speaking, don't own a namjar. Now, in recent years, various lamas teachers have encouraged their nuns to take full ordination by going to Chinese Buddhists or Taiwanese Buddhists to take that because that lineage exists in China, in Korea, in Taiwan. But anyway, that's just a footnote. So that's the first piece. The second piece that makes as part of the three monastic robes or the three Dharma robes, that one is called today today it's what's called a chogu. Even though the three pieces are actually called chogu, like the correct technical term, but today where they say chogu, then they are referring to also yellow color, also patched, but I think only maybe 7 pieces patched together. So it's patched, but not like, lots of squares. Maybe just about 7 pieces patched together. Yeah, so that's the chogu. The chogu is worn by both fully ordained and novices. The third one, the third piece, I have no clarity about the third piece. I believe today in the Tibetan tradition, that third piece is actually the underskirt that practically nobody sees. It's like almost what we may call, some of you are like, what's that? What my mom's generation would call a petticoat. Yeah, it's like a skirt under the skirt. And that's also yellow in color. And that novices would wear or have to wear as well. So where does that take us to this? This Zen, and then the other pieces that we see Tibetan monastics wearing, which is the vest, the tonga. Yeah, it's like a vest, right? And then beneath the vest, they wear a blouse or like a shirt, a button-down shirt, sleeveless. Yeah, so the tonga which is the vest. Underneath the vest is this shirt without sleeves, yeah, called ngulen. Those actually are not technically the three robes at all. And also the shantap. So shantap, what is a shantap? Shantap is this color, maroon, burgundy, but sewn together as a tube. So then that tube, you would pleat it. Different lineages would pleat them slightly differently, but not like every lineage has its own pleat. No, but there's 2 or 3 styles of pleating. One is pleated in such a way that both are kind of pleated backwards. In Durung Kagyu is this side front and this side back. But that shantap is technically also not the monastic. But I think these days, a shantap that consists of various pieces sewn together becomes symbolizing the lower robe. Yeah. So when you see someone wearing pieces, 7 pieces or 5 pieces sewn together, shantap, then he or she is saying that I'm a fully ordained monastic. So the ngulen, the undershirt, is not technically a monastic thing. The what do you call that? Tonga, the vest is also not the 3 robes. Today, when you see Tibetan monastics, monks or nuns in their regalia, so to say, the only piece that is one of the 3, technically speaking, is the chogo that they all wear. So like during the 2+ months in the transmission, the only person wearing the namjar, which is called the great robe, in Sanskrit is called the sangati. The only person wearing the namjar was His Holiness. Nobody else was wearing namjar. There was one person who's not Tibetan who was wearing the namjar for a while, until somebody pulled him aside and said, actually, we don't wear the namjar. We just wear the chogo, which is the second piece. So the chogo is practically the only one that monastics wear these days on a regular basis. But even that chogo, the 3 robes, I think, in the Tibetan tradition has become ceremonial, not really day-to-day wear. Day-to-day wear, it's this burgundy maroon colored shantap, and then the ngulen, the tonga, and the zen. So anyway, the zen. And the rationale for wearing the zen, right? So when you wear when a monastic wears the chogo or the namjar, how they wear it is they wear it on top of the zen. They wear it on top of the zen. And the rationale is this zen is to protect from dirtying the chogo or dirtying the namjar. So in the Tibetan tradition, the 3 Dharma robes have become mostly ceremonial. Same with East Asian Buddhism, with Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. Their robes are even kind of further away from the 3 robes. And they really wear the namja, the equivalent of the namja or the chogo, strictly for ceremonial purposes. In fact, if you get up from the shrine room, in the Tibetan tradition, if you get up from the shrine room during a puja, for whatever reason you need to leave to go out of the shrine room, you take off your chogo. Right? You don't wear your chogo and walk around and go to the bathroom. No, you take off your chogo, you put it aside. And then part of the choga, not that you all need to worry about it, but part of the kind of the etiquette of wearing the choga is that if the presiding lama, everybody knows, no question, is a monastic, and the presiding lama is not wearing their choga, then you dress down. You don't wear your choga. But if the presiding lama is wearing the choga, because he or she is an ordained monk or nun, or novice monk or novice nun, in the case of nuns, even though they are very old or senior, then you would wear the choga. But the Zen, there is no. So the Zen, when it is 5 meters long, then whether it's 5 meters long or just long enough, basically the right side, so it covers your left shoulder, and so it covers your left shoulder and exposes your right. And the way this comes up, it should just leave like this much. This is the short side, and this is the long side. The left side is left as the long side. The right side just goes up enough to kind of rest on your left shoulder. Then, with regards to the long side, this is when you fold it. Or if you don't want to fold, then simply like this. Yeah. If you have enough to fold, you may not have, then you fold it. You like kind of fold it into pleats, and then it more neatly comes like this. Kurt, way off.
Side, right side.
Yeah. Short side. Short side is on your right. Let it come down so that the robe is not like up on your here, but yeah. Okay. You got that, yes.
You're holding with the left.
So you have to cover your left shoulder. Yeah, and go under your right. Yeah. And that should be the short side. Your right side is the short side. Now your left side is the short side. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Then that right side, go up to the left. Yes. Yeah. And then now you manage the left side. No. Fold. Or just grab. No, if you grab like that, then your hand should come out here, not there. Yeah. Yeah. If you can pleat, then you pleat. If not, yeah, you just let it rest all half here, half here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's just like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now you three come. And let them see I'm not talking to an empty room. Okay, wave, say hello. Okay. See, this you have to make sure it stays. Then this comes up like this. This should not drop down. Back there. And the way you ensure that is when you start, make sure this is fully like this. Yeah, and this goes up just this much. Right here. And here you can either pleat. If you don't pleat, you just look for this helps because there's the hairy end, the open end, the middle. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Then it's basically pleated. Oh, you know. So you go in, you go out, and you go this way. And then you would pleat the other way if you want to go, if you're going to be going about doing things, then I would, this is not a rule, just, I would pleat out first and in first and then in second. This is just preference. And then this is when you're not going to be holding your hand like this the whole time. This is when you're going about doing things. Then you can just pull everything up basically and go this way. Yeah, like that. Correct. That's a little bit less formal. The really formal way is like this. Okay. Really formal way, you have to give more now to your right side because it covers your right shoulder as well. Yeah. Like this. This is a real formal way. And especially when receiving teachings from a high Lama, you want to cover your right shoulder with a little bit like this. This is like very formal. Well, more formal than people, not very formal. Okay, let's start. So just to repeat what was said last week, in case you were not here. So I'm encouraging you guys, basically. Especially, yes. But here's the other thing. Joe, it's off now. Something is not right with something has fallen off. Yeah, your left side is too long. Yeah. Yeah, and then you have to pleat. Yeah, right. Yeah. So what I'm encouraging is, of course, a more formal look, when we are gathered as a group to do practice. There is a second, third, and fourth chance to get these. So we continue to take orders because Tibetan Spirit buys things every few months. So we have shipments coming over. Basically, I'm not charging you shipping per se, unless from Asheville it needs to be shipped further, then that shipping I cannot absorb. But if it is coming over with the Tibetan Spirit things, then it's fine. Yeah. Not tooting my own horn, but you all should know, if you are associated with some of the Sangha, that's where the Lama makes money. Okay. And telling you your robe will cost $300 and it's a privilege to wear, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's not how I do things. I want to be able to go to sleep and sleep. I don't know how other people do it, but that's not my problem. Then other than us having a uniform look, because it sets the tone, it changes, right? But of course, simply dwelling on the outer without developing the inner is also meaningless. Yeah? It's completely meaningless. So the inner development is really important. And such as, like, I think this class on karma hopefully will help us to understand, what karma is and how do we choose right karma? How do we avoid dark, heavy karma? So the developing of but then the inner and the outer, like we say so much in our practice, is ultimately to be realized as inseparable. In more common talk, is basically you want to walk your talk. Yeah. So the walking of your talk is the outer aspect. The talk, so to say, in this context, is the inner things that we have to develop. We have to develop, we have to grow, we have to work on. Then the outer, right? The outer appearance, what is the main reason for this Zen? So this Zen, the purpose, like I said, in monastic, part of the monastic context is to protect the chogu, right? So what does the chogu symbolize? The chogu symbolize the vows, disciplined conduct. So then for us, when we put on this Zen, it's a reminder of the precious vows, the precepts. The root of all precepts are the 5 precepts, the so-called 5 precepts of a laity. That's the root of all the other precepts. The novice precepts, the fully ordained precepts, all those are further elaborations of the basic 5. The basic 5 is the most general insurance policy we can buy. One that we can all afford to buy. When you wear this Zen, this is basically, you are reaffirming, like, I keep those 5 vows, the 5 lay vows. So at some point this year, we'll do a ceremony of formalizing the taking of the 5 vows. Before even taking, you should observe them, these 5 lay precepts. The blue shirt that I've chosen, that is the color in the ancient text is mentioned that this is the color of the practitioners of secret mantra. Yeah, so in that way, the maroon outside and the blue shirt under is like the outer and inner aspects of what we should practice, which is the paramitas, the exoteric, and the secret mantra, which is the esoteric. And both exoteric and esoteric, as Jigten Sumgön will emphasize, they are the outsides and the insides of avoiding the 10 non-virtues and cultivating the 10 virtues. If you think secret mantra is something else, then you have veered off in some other direction that is not helpful. Not wrong, but probably not helpful. Because then you veer off into some imaginary place where effectively it has no meaning for you. I'm not saying, Jigten Sumgön is not saying that there aren't like maybe more profound things that you could say about secret mantra. But if at the level of cultivating the 10 virtues and avoiding the 10 virtues, you're not able to do, then to talk about secret mantra as something more than those things is just a distraction. It's not helpful. Yeah. Then the lower is basically just a Tibetan, daily Tibetan person's skirt, lower garment. Men, women, depending on which part of Tibet you come from, you would wear that. So I've chosen for you guys to have basically a dark brown color one. So that's what this is.